I do want to touch on those issues that you mentioned, immigration and economy. They're the top issues facing American voters. And according to a recent Harris X Forbes poll, voters think that Trump would handle both of those better than President Biden. So, how do Democrats and the Biden administration, the Biden campaign, come out on the offensive when it comes to immigration and the economy?
I think their best argument on the economy is that inflation has slowed. That we recognize that it was a serious problem and we are beginning to get it under control. They were responsible for the problem. They flooded the economy with money. They printed money, running huge deficits. And as a result of that, there is the inflation we now suffer. So I don't think they can get much out of that except to say inflation has slowed down. Now, the good news for Biden is that polls show there is sometimes a lag between how the economy is doing, and we do have very good employment numbers and so forth, how the economy is doing and how people feel about that. It's often about a 6 month lag. So that may help Biden going forward. I think on immigration, they'll just try to deflect. They'll try to say the Republicans wanted the issue and so forth. But Trump has a great argument. Trump's basic argument, Brittany, is going to be the one that Ronald Reagan ran against Jimmy Carter. Are you better off now than you were 4 years ago? And there are going to be very few people who say we're better off now. In fact, polls show that only 1 in 5 people think that they're better off now.
To your point, like you said, this is going to be a largely pessimistic campaign going forward, with each of the main candidates pointing to the other and saying, hey, I'm better than that guy. Don't vote for him because he's worse than me. Do you think this is a winning strategy?
Um, Negative campaigning works. We know that, and we know that they keep trying it. And I think it'll work in a way for both candidates. I think there are a lot of negatives surrounding both Biden and Trump, and they can build on those. Biden has the advantage of having a lot of money to campaign with. Trump's got to raise it. And that's a big advantage because Biden himself, I think, will not want to appear in public. He won't want to answer questions. I'm looking to see how long he's willing to speak in the State of the Union, which is coming up in a couple of days. Um, he just it's coming up Thursday. So he will he be willing to go for a long period of time? He's going to do everything he can to avoid a debate with Trump, much less 3 90 minutes debates. Public can see it. And I don't think that's a good thing for the most powerful and demanding office in the whole world.
But how do you think the lack of excitement surrounding these candidates is going to affect the general?
Well, the Republican base is excited about Trump. The problem is that the Democratic base is excited about him too, right? They really want to keep him out. And Biden, in fact, if you remember, um, the last campaign, I have a lot of friends on both sides, so I hear and I go to events where they're kind of all Republican and all Democrat. In fact, you almost never go to an event like a lunch, a political lunch or something where it's split anymore. They're all divided. But people used to say, well, how can Biden win? His campaign rallies have 4 people, and Trump's have 40,000. But the answer is, if you held an anti-Trump rally in 2020, you would have gotten 40,000 people too. So I think there is enthusiasm around Trump, but it's both positive and negative. There is no enthusiasm around Biden, and there's none around his vice presidential likely candidate. I don't think he can replace Kamala Harris, and the reason he can't replace her is instructive. Um, the Democratic Party has run on identity politics for 30 years or more. And if he got rid of Kamala Harris, he really doesn't have a black female candidate to replace her. And therefore, there would be a lot of people in that community that would feel insulted. And the key are black female voters. Trump is making inroads among black male voters and among all Hispanics.